Welcome back, everybody. Wow. Have you seen the FA Cup draw? Got loads to talk about. We're going to look back at the Premier League results over the weekend. We're going to look forward to the midweek games and also the weekend games, but also the FA Cup draw. Go and grab a cuppa or a drink, whatever you want. You've got 60 seconds. Let's go. So, now the crack. Gary, son.
Good. Yourself?
Aye. Mint. I tell you what, I might just be making this up, but I'm sure you know the music of our what do you call it? It was on the radio the other day in the background of one of the adverts.
Was it?
If it is, I want royalties because I paid for that. Yeah. He has little old Newcastle fans straight in. They must have been messaging each other on the other private WhatsApp group. As soon as they go live, write this. You're not massive anymore. Him and Dave Armstrong, man. They hated that one massive, don't they?
You know what it is?
Good evening, Kev from Ashington, even though you're portraying you're from Florida. Go on, Gary, what are you going to say?
We've never had no to them lot, and then we're gone above them in the league, and then they're up in arms, the one financial fair play and everything. You know what it is? Ruben's Reds got them absolutely buckled. Because
they fought in a relegation battle, didn't they? They didn't want 10 Hag sack.
Nah.
That's what it is. This 39-year-old kid who's come in to manage the biggest club in the world. It's like, look, I'm not gonna get excited, but I reckon like the second.
I am.
Yeah,
it's a good job we get Liverpool 15-point seed start. Having said, it wasn't that long ago, we'll give someone a 11 or 12-point seed start in February, and we'll quote them. Can you remember who that was or not?
I can, yeah. I'm sure that we're gonna. I'm sure that
I would love it.
The practice play this Wednesday for him would be Newcastle, Liverpool, and he said, "Oh, I can't come." Keegan, so they've changed their mind. They've changed their mind. They're gonna buy more different flags. And they're gonna do the Keegan one when he can't come. He couldn't make it up for you. They've spent 40 grand on flags for him, and he actually can't come. Honestly, I love it. I just love it. I love that I'm from the northeast. I end up supporting Man U, and I'll get a tunnel vision because the banter is unbelievable in the Gary.
They began in 69,950,000. Would take the flag money off way in the summer.
You spend it all on flags.
Flags.
Right. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll flick through because obviously the FA Cup draws just happened as well. So we'll speed through the results, mate. I'm just getting up last week's what we chose. I think that's it. Yes, right. So we'll start on this one because I've just typed in Premier League results. Brighton, Southampton. Brighton won. Southampton won. You went for 3-1 to Brighton. I went for 2-1 to Brighton. But it was shared and it knocked you out of
last man standing.
Both of them, I was surprised you put because you're obviously in 2, and I seen that you chose Brighton in both of them, and I was thinking,
I'm a man. I'm either Arlene or not.
Aye. Well, to be fair, mate, like Brighton had been playing well. They're hard to beat at home. Southampton hadn't been playing that well. First half, it could have been our and done with, I think, and then obviously the Southampton grew into the game and they should have won it. To be honest, got that goal disallowed. We'll talk about that. Adam Armstrong interfering with it. If that we've got VAR to get rid of stupid decisions like that, and they're still actually making them. And I just think that is mental. How can you give that? But interfering, he's kind of like flicked his foot. Did you see it?
Aye, but looking at me decisions, like if I hadn't took Brighton, I would have probably went for Spurs at home against Fulham. Feeling that, I would have maybe just went for maybe Newcastle or something. So either way, I mean Brighton was my best pick. I'd already took the better teams out, so I was clutching at straws.
Aye. Yeah, we're going to start another one, so I hope everybody jumps back in and helps the.
No, well, definitely, it's for a good cause.
So I point each for Brighton and Southampton. Good, better point for Southampton than it was for Brighton. Wolves against Bournemouth. It finished 4-2 to Bournemouth. You went for 2-2, and I went for a 3-1 win to Wolves. But Bournemouth, Jesus, 4-2. You know,
playing some really good talent and are scoring a lot of goals there. I mean, the week before, Brighton, was that not end up 4 or 5 goals between them? But they just seem to be in high-scoring games, a goal, aren't they?
Good to watch. They're hard to beat, and if they can match their away form, their home form, then Europe's not out the way, not a possibility. You know what I mean? They could get there. They could do it. That's for sure.
I think they've beat City and Arsenal this season, haven't they?
Aye, they should have beat Newcastle as well. You know that goal allowed in the last second. Should have.
So they're doing well.
Right, they will. Next up, Crystal Palace against Newcastle. You thought that the Toon would bring 3 points back up north. They didn't. I thought that Palace would beat them 2-0. They didn't. Newcastle held on 1-0, and you've got to give them this credit. The goal, even though it was an own goal, was an excellent move. Well orchestrated free kick move. Did you see it? Where they played it in short. Gordon's made the run and run the back. He's played it into him. He's put Gordon in. Gordon's played it across, and it's come off Guy's leg. 1-0, and then a bullet hitter in the last 5 minutes or something equalizes for Crystal Palace. That is a massive kick in the teeth. Because no matter Newcastle didn't have any shots on target, mate. They're winning 1-0, and they're thinking, these didn't even look like scoring. They've never looked like scoring the whole game. The 3 points is ours. We've stole this. We'll grab the 3 points and we're away. And then with a knee Palace scores. It's got to be. It is heartbreaking, and that is.
It is. We've been there, haven't we? Especially when you're digging deep like that. I'm just looking at the stats there. It looks like it was even possession, but the Crystal Palace 16 goal attempts, 4 on target, 7, 5 blocked, corners more or less even. But no one likes losing at that time of the game, do they? It's when you get into the 90th minute, but that's when you've got to not switch off, and they're obviously being caught out, haven't they, at the death.
I mean, you've got. I say you've got to win them, but it's not an easy good to get, you know what I mean? But when you've got it in your grasp, I'll let Eddie out he hasn't got a plan B, he doesn't. He just sticks to his regulars, and Tonali for me has got to start every game for them. He's got doesn't matter who has to be pushed aside. He has to start every game for Newcastle.
Well, it looks like he started at the weekend in place of Longstaff, and that's what people have been asking for. But for me, I think you still need Longstaff in there, and I think it should be I would be looking at either Tonali instead of Willock or Bruno, rotating them, because Bruno plays every minute of every game, just so doesn't he? That's where you need to be bringing them in, because you need. See our players so Longstaff and that, I think that get stuck in, and I know people didn't like him that much, but he does the shit, and that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to do the shit for you,
yes, it wasn't to be, and we'll catch up on that upcoming game this weekend, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Moving on though, mate, it's Forest against Ipswich. You went for 2-1 to Forest. I went for 1-1. It was 1-0 to Forest. Getting back to winning ways after losses against Newcastle and Arsenal.
They needed it.
Which I thought they were good. I thought they were going to go to Forest and get something. When it's 1-0, the game could have went either way, couldn't it? It's hanging in the balance. But it's a good win for Forest, and it keeps them up in the top half. And they're still third or fourth, aren't
they? No, I think they've dropped into about 6 or something, unless they've climbed back up again. No, they're 6. 22 points, but I mean that's massive for them. They wouldn't have dreamed it would be in there. They were probably just thinking like we'll stay in the league again and we'll try and add to it. That's my opinion anyway. On Ipswich, I mean they've done alright against us. I mean, on another day they could have beat us. We didn't play that great. Obviously, it was Amaranth's first game in, and we didn't know what to sort of expect. It can go in one or two ways, can't it? But I like to think if we were to play Ipswich next week, the same game again, I think we would batter them. That's my honest opinion. But we didn't. We went to them. We got a point. They took Liverpool to the end of the game to beat them. Like they haven't been embarrassed by anyone. Ipswich. Like if you look at the results, they've done all right against like just about everyone they played. They haven't been like showing up. So he's a good coach in. And that Liam Delap that's up front, he's getting a lot of interest. Him, and rightly so. He scores goals.
He's an old school number 9, isn't he? He gets in amongst. And he does. He's left-footed.
I mean, that game me and you watched before when we were doing Old Trafford and we were having dinner against Villa, and he was outstanding. He could have had a few in that game. He did get a one, but he could have had way more. He bullies defenders, doesn't he? He's a big lad, but he's quite quick with it as well, and he knows where the net is. We've got a good player on the hands, I think.
Definitely. I'll flick through some of these messages because there's loads coming through here. What's the weather like down there? Here's Liam Chris for the Man United fan. Thoughts on why Rashford playing well all of a sudden? Just confidence, even. He's obviously a confidence player. That's what it is. You're going to get excited for now again. Ha ha ha. I'm sure Emmerdale is on the other side. Couple of Newcastle fans here watching one of the biggest Man U channels on Pornhub. So did Alan Smith say that. Mate, if you're watching this, it'll probably be a short film if I'm involved. Martin Gallen, we are desperate for set piece coach because corners are just a waste for us. Maybe, but you watch the goal that you scored, and that's a good set piece. So it's obviously working somewhere down the line. Longstaff does FA in a total different time zone. Totally disagree with you. I think you're a better side with him, man. Like Gary says. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He gives everything. He never goes hiding. He's always looking for the ball. He's always defending and joining the attacks. Like, what more do you want? I think you just got to understand that you've got these flair players like Bruno and Gordon. I mean, Gordon does defend, to be fair. But Longstaff's one person I think that you really need in your squad, to be honest with you.
Why does Harvey Barnes not get much of a chance? I find that staggering. I find it staggering that he doesn't get more game time though. They constantly play the same wingers, and then I don't know. And then he seems to come on, and then he's the one that scores them goals. He scored a few goals off the bench this season, and I think he's a good player. He must be deed frustrated being there, because I think he gets into quite a few teams at the top of the league, maybe
You got sell the dream, mate. It's just turned into a nightmare. Brentford 4, Leicester 1. Brentford again, leading up in them where they're sitting now, 8th in the table. Leicester sitting in 16th, but obviously Ruud van Nistelrooy's getting his palms on them the day there. put them through some drills. And we're told that Ruud's training is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm pretty sure they'll be all right. I think he'll bring some confidence into that team, and they'll start picking up results, whether that's draws or wins. But they'll do all right. But Brentford, you can't knock them, mate. They're doing well, aren't they?
They are. Like Thomas Franks, he's done a mint job with them. They're just the grind results. So they're good to watch. They always have a go, and they just score goals because they've got that about them. Even when they went down to 10 men like a couple of weeks ago, they're still having a go. I like Brentford. They're one of the teams that are like you want to stay in the league, like the Bournemouth teams that's like having a go, like say Palace isn't that like
good away in it, Brentford.
It's a lovely place, Brentford, like wasn't it?
It was
really nice, doing that.
Mm-hmm. And then they've got the Northumberland Arms straight opposite. What do you call it, haven't they?
Couldn't make it up, could you?
Then they put a Northumberland Arms. I was like, Billy Noble saying because Howe has his fibs. He must be Howe out. Harvey Barnes can't defend, but one of our best finishers. So you need to play to their strengths, don't you? You know, and that's the Howe's job. You've got to play out of that talent on the bench. You should be on the wing, no matter what. We'll come to a bit, but look at Ruben Amorim, he's only 3 or 4 games in, unbeaten. But he's changing it mid-game. There's only 35 minutes gone. Sometimes he's bringing somebody up and he's changing the formation, telling them where to go. And you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to adapt. Premier League, it's the best league in the world, man. You need to keep up, otherwise you'll get caught out. Next up, so you had 2-0 and I had 3-1. So we'll both get a point for that. West Ham and Arsenal. You went 3-1 Arsenal. I went 2-1 West Ham. It finished 5-2. Looked like they were running away with it at 4-0. And then a couple of quick fire goals from West Ham. Thought to see them back in the game. But then finished off 5-2. Convincing win, really, in the end. Just like you predicted, Gary.
I always thought that they would win that game. I mean, the Wan-Bissaka scores again. I don't think he scored as many, and then he scored 2 and 2, hasn't he? And then that's free kick from Emerson. It was world class, off the bar. But Arsenal, they blew them away, really, and it could have been way more than what it was. Like we say, it's that Odegaard thing for me. He guns and then he just makes everything tick. And now we're going to come to it, but he's your man you've got to watch on Wednesday night. But Arsenal, they're the only ones, I think, at this stage that can get anywhere near stopping Liverpool from winning the league. That's my opinion.
I have to agree with you now, even though I don't like it. I hate them, me. But Chelsea, Aston Villa, Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Easy work in the end for Chelsea. You went 2-1, I went 2-2. Put you on 3 points and me on 1 point. Convincing win in the end for Chelsea. Aston Villa once again struggling, Gary. Champions League, all these extra games is definitely having an effect. They're sitting in 12th now. And the recent form is they haven't won since the 22nd of October, mate. In the time since then, they've got 3 draws and 5 losses. Bad times for Villa.
It is. I mean, really good results through the week for them, wasn't it? Didn't they beat Juventus as well in the Champions League? Did they not beat Juventus in the Champions League midweek? Was that this week?
Drew Neal.
Did they? Must have getting rolled out. I thought I'd seen them score late on. So I put, again, we predicted this sort of thing, like when you're working with a squad where you didn't trust your bench and stuff. You either you live by the sword, you die by the sword, don't you? You either play to your full squad and give people a chance, or this is what happens and you burn them out. Villa's probably 2 or 3 injuries, like I said a couple of shows ago, from falling into that category where they lose Ollie Watkins or Morgan Rogers, a couple of players like that, and they're going to be looking over their shoulder. They're going to be in big trouble, I think. And I mean, we've seen it with us, Newcastle in the Champions League. We didn't have the players to come on. There wasn't the rotation. And it sharp comes back at you, especially with all these games that's coming in thick and fast.
Definitely. I mean, that just proves my point that we are the biggest club in the world. Like, and I'm not trying to make cut the piss. We are, because he hasn't had a win since October. You've never seen nothing on Sky Sports News or there's no agenda against them. We lose 2 in a row, mate. Everybody in the world's talking about it. It's a massive issue. That's why it's the biggest club in the world. You cannot lose 2 in a row online. You just can't do it. He hasn't won since October, man.
Look at Pep.
I haven't even seen a headline yet. It would have mental.
No.
Moving on. Tottenham 1, Fulham 1, mate. Fulham down to 10 men as well. Disappointing again. There doesn't seem to be a good mood around Spurs at the minute, although they've had a couple of good results. There seems to be a lot of negativity, and it's Tottenham, by the way. They drew the last 2. Obviously drew through the week against Roma. They beat Man City 4-0 convincingly. Lost to Ipswich, lost to Galatasaray, but beat Villa and beat City in the EFL Cup as well. So they're not doing too bad. But when you watch them, the demeanour, it's all doom and gloom, it seems. What's going on?
I kind of, it's one of them where you kind of put your finger on it. Remember when we were talking about it and we said it was Spurs. Like I said, yeah, I think there's players in there that he just doesn't seem to trust as much. And I get it. But I mean, you're looking at the stats here, and Fulham, they were man down, but I mean, they've had equal possession. They've had most of the goal attempts. They've had way more corners. They look like they were the ones pushing to win that game, in my opinion. Like you say, brilliant result. But that's what you're saying. It's all right if you're going to raise your game when Man City comes to town or Liverpool or Man United, and then you put it on. Because I mean, they came on the back at us. There's no getting away from that. And they did the battle, but it's no good doing it against the teams where it's a cup final and then you're playing say teams you think you should just beat. There isn't games like that in the Premier League anymore. I don't think that you cannot just rock up and just think you're going to win a game. You just cannot. And
that's the problem as well, isn't it? They'll play against the bigger clubs and the different teams.
Because I've spoken to people the day in the builders merchants and stuff, and you're talking to them and you're saying and they're going, we'll get back at Liverpool on Wednesday night. I'm at the game, I wish I wasn't. And I says, you know what it is? I says, that is one of them games where yous are likely to turn up against not big teams, like the teams at the top of the league, like going to St James's Park, because it's the cup final and the crowd will be up for it. The players, it gives them a little bit of boost, but it's no good doing it against them and then Palace away and then having one shot on target.
No.
But that's players, isn't it? But yeah, go you put it in, didn't he? But
helping the mood.
Mm-hmm.
So both we got that wrong, mate. We'll move on quickly because we need to try and get through this. Next up was Man United against Everton. You went for 3-0. I went for 4-0. It finished 4-0, so you get a point and I get 3 points. That puts on 4s each going into the last game. But 4-0. For me, the scoreline doesn't reflect the game because the first 25, 30 minutes, Everton could have been a couple up because they had a couple of one-on-ones, and if we're playing somebody decent, we're 2-0 doing. It's as simple as that. The game was a lot tighter than what it was. Rashford scores a deflected goal, and then that's it. It's like a light bulb, switches above the head, mate, and it's it was like watching the old Man United. It was absolute fluency, and the football was brilliant. Everybody was running for the cause, making like-for-like substitutions. Brought Bruno off. It's the first time I think I've seen Bruno being pulled off apart from strategy. If we're winning 3 or 4 out, but we're only 2-0 up at this time, and he brought him off. I think we'll say, well, you might have to correct us there. But he brought him off quite early, and I thought, you know what, he's just showing all the signs of a good manager.
4 out.
Finishes 4-0, and you're thinking, you're walking away just feeling happy. The players give up. You know what I mean? Didn't start in that. If you're one of them players at Manchester United, right? He's had them for 3 games, right? And out of them games, he started everybody that's in the first squad. They've started at some point.
Like, other than Lenny Yoro, who's like just come back from injury, that says everyone's started a game and everyone's had at least 90 minutes over them games. That squad rotation, that's unbelievable management. That
I think on Wednesday you're gonna see what he thinks is his strongest 11, because they've all got minutes under their belt now. So I honestly think that our starting 11 on Wednesday will be what he thinks is our strongest 11. I
seen Mark Gobridge put some of it today, and he says, I was looking through before, and he says people think because we've done our last couple of games, blah, 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 we'll go Arsenal and we'll set up like we would against City. I think he's totally wrong. I think this bloke is going to set that team up to play exactly how he wants it to play. He's already said that. Like, the bloke's not listening. Like, he is going to set them up and they're going to win that game. He'd rather they got beat 3 or 4 now trying to win his way, and rather than scan and sit back. There's not a chance. There's not a chance. And by the way, Amad Diallo has got to be one of the best things that's come to Man United in the last 4 years by a million miles. And Ten Hag deserved to get sacked alone for dropping him after them 2 first games of the season when he played out of his skin. He was our best player in both games and then froze him out for 6 weeks. It's a sackable offence. Sackable offence.
He's just. I don't know. The ball sticks to his foot. You never think that he's gonna lose it. Never. Mm-hmm. He either wins a free kick, a throw in, or he's like attacking them and he's doing the line.
He made 2 of the goals by closing down and just unbelievable. Really good.
Honestly, the whole day was
Rashford's goal, by the way, that first one was gone in anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, it was going to be a good goal, that. It was going to the bottom corner. It was going to be a good finish, that. And it was like off the training ground, because I've never ever seen Bruno do that to Rashford in the whole time he's been there. So that's like a new one off the training ground. But the ball's gone into the box is unbelievable. And you think, why is not being
back 6 weeks, mate? There was nothing going in the box.
No, nothing. In the first game,
it was like, what's the point in Rasmus being there? There's nothing coming into the box. All our wingers think we can cut inside and shoot.
They're not looking now.
Now, honestly,
cross the box.
And then I know what it is. I was over the moon for Xerxes, mate, because he has been shit. There's no getting away from him. He's been shit. And his first few touches yesterday again was shit. And the crowd, you could hear it every time he was going to get past the ball. You could hear like, oh. You could hear it when there's that many people saying it at the same time.
It'll do the world of good, them goals. So I was pleased he got them.
Well, but not just that, though. Before he even got the goals, he was like, the ball, mate. And the wingers were getting up, the wing backs were getting up, and then he was releasing it and moving on into the. Mm-hmm. And then he got his goal, and then he seen his heat going up. He was buzzing, and then that was it. His second goal, and that he was just dictating the play. Then, mate, nobody could do that. Yeah. He reminded us of Joe Linton. He could be Joe Linton. You know how Joe was shit,
and then dropped it,
changed his position, and he was fucking unbelievable, and you couldn't play against him. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminded us of. He was kicking them off.
The same, like with Rashford as well. And you watch, like, he's making these runs, but he's making the runs on the inside, like in behind defenders, and he knows that the ball's coming. He's obviously being told, you make that run, they are passing it, like the ball's going to come. Whereas in the past, like, he's always out wide. He's been told to stick out wide the whole time. He doesn't want to be out there. When he runs through the middle and you put him one-on-one, he scores goals. Like, he's done it. He done it under Van Gaal for 2 years. He done it under Mourinho. When you play him through the middle and you pass the ball, you will score your goals, and that is his best position. He's got to be playing there. He's got to be, but the ball's got to go in. And it's been a breath of fresh air the last 2 games, to be honest. But long may it continue. I think Arsenal's in for a game.
Right, and obviously that win, Gary. I don't know if you were aware. Have you had a look at the standings or not?
No, I've been too busy.
Puts us in 9th on 19, and believe it or not, 4 points behind top 4. It's fucking mental that, like. Newcastle right in the relegation battle there, sitting in 11th. 11. Mind the gap, lads. I know, it's just a little gap, but mind it, please. Watch what you're doing. You don't want to fall down there still. Let's quickly flick through these messages before we go on to the last game. Longstaff does have here. We've seen that. He's in a total different time zone. Right. Harvey Barnes. Can't defend, but one of our best finishers. I've seen that. How has a free hit until we have 14 or 15, 40 million players? You can't even sign one, man. You had the chance to sign Gray. You couldn't even sign him, man. You need to get your heat out the sand, these lot, honestly. Ross Armstrong. Toon need to buy Jan or How will be gone end of season. Can't see us improving with any new additions. Can't hit a barn door at the minute. He's also said, can't believe how good Liverpool were yesterday. Man City just didn't know what hit them. No one will catch Liverpool if they keep playing like that. You say that, either played well in that, then Van Dijk made that error, and De Bruyne any other time scores that goal. If he scores that goal with 10 minutes to play,
1-1.
Game on. It's game on, and that's the fine margins in the Premier League, mate. Evening, lad, says your Amanda. Good evening, Amanda.
Hello.
Peter Pieter, Villa same as Toon after top 4. Couldn't push on sign players because of PSR.
I didn't have Villa sign some players, didn't they?
That's what it is, though, isn't it? It's shit management. Like, manage your money better. When Mike Ashley owned them, they were buying every year, but knew that the richest club in the world, they can't buy anybody. Doesn't make sense, man. You cannot just keep blaming PSR every time you don't sign a player. It just doesn't happen. Courses have got money to spend. Courses have. It's an easy excuse to use. The other Martin Gallen saying it's clicked. Hope you're keeping well, lads. Says Johnny Turnbull, but obviously that's Johnny B. All right, mate. It's great to see you back in love with your team. Just shows what a massive result does for you. Always in love with our teammate. Obviously, naturally, do you get pissed off? But especially the way we've been playing. But the love's never been doubted. Never ever. Most natural number 9 I have seen for a long time, says Billy Noble, talking about Xerxes. Nice to hear that, because he is like
it is, if he can sort that first touch out. If he can sort that first touch out.
It's just confidence in it. He's come from a new league. But he has been shit. He's got to take the criticism, take it on the chin, learn from it, and prove everybody wrong. Gary, 4 points each being you've got from our predictions. Leading way into the last game. It's Liverpool 2, Man City 0. I predicted 1-1. What did you predict?
2-0.
2-0 Liverpool. You're the winner this week, kid. 7-4 Gary. But I like somebody just said that Liverpool did, they run away with it. You know, they were playing very, very well. They played excellent against Real Madrid through the week. With great result that, putting Mbappe on his head. You cannot take it away from them, you know, like it's neat out about it. You know, you can sit here and be bitter, but they're playing good football. But remember, we've still, how many of them games we've played already? We've still got to play that again twice over. Well, we're only a quarter of a way through the season. So
A third through
the season. So we've got to play them games again twice over. Anything can happen. It's the Premier League. Look at Newcastle, like Gary said earlier on.
1,000,000%. You're only a couple of injuries away from like a disaster. It can easily happen to anyone. We've seen it like more times than enough to like look at what's happened to Man City with Rodri. Everyone had picked Man City to win the league. Everyone thought Man City would win the league, and there's no way anyone's catching them. And then look, you're one player away from like that happening. They're like a Salah or someone away from that, because you know, if Salah gans, who do they play doing that right hand side?
Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk are all gone to Real Madrid. Although Salah
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I cannot believe they haven't tied him to another couple of years. There's no way he's finished. No way.
Just quick, that's why they should never ever compare Pep Guardiola to Sir Alex Ferguson. He never lost a player and went and lost 6 in a row. He dealt with it, mate. Every time, you know, like, and he had some, you know, big players over the years. He's missing one player, and look at the way they're going on. He's self-harming, man. You see him.
Unbelievable.
It's supposed to be an example to young kids watching you, man. Get a grip. It's a game. See you after the adverts, people. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Beds, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, most cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 077787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Gary nick up there just before the adverts ended, but we've also got another company I just want to show you quickly. The one we're going to start advertising, but didn't get the PDF in time. But if you need any mezzanine floors, then get in touch with Mezzanine Floors UK. They're a local company. They do a cracking job. They're going above and beyond. Do a full advert for them next week. But that's the company you want there. Mezzanine, I didn't even know I was here properly. Mezzanine Floors UK. Yes. So hopefully Gary's back any second now. Thinks his time's like, he's had 2.5 minutes. Jeez, what a lad. I'll tell you what I'll do while he's thinking. I'm going to flip through X. It's some of the reaction videos and posts from people. I'll flick through these quickly, Gary. No comments, says Roy Caviani. No shots in 100 minutes, NUFC. And he's mirrored an image there of Eddie Howe and Steve Bruce. Jimmy Watt says, playing the free, overlapping on the wings, worked for us for 2 seasons. But now we've been found out and we can't break teams down because of it. And I'm seriously questioning if Eddie knows how to change it. That was terrible today. The Looney Tune. I want Mourinho. I want a new stadium. This project isn't going to get anywhere with Longstaff, Byrne, and Murphy getting regular minutes. So, yeah, reaction again. Every time Newcastle didn't get any points, the fans are hitting X, venting their anger and want Howe out. We beat Liverpool this week, mate, and it'll be Howe in.
1,000,000%.
That's why they get called tunnel vision fans, because they're fickle, aren't they? They forget they are, like the overachieved. It's as simple as that. Like it or hate it, what I'm saying, it's true. They overachieved when he came in, and now they're expecting, because of the richest club in the world, to pick up 3 points every week. And when they didn't, they're blaming the manager straight away. And it's not right in my opinion. Like a lot of our friends there on the on my WhatsApp group say the same, and they're all the same, apart from Peter. I don't think Peter's Eddie out. I think he's very much like stand by the manager. Do you know what I mean? It's a bad.
It is because the way you've got to look at that is like it's fair enough saying you Eddie out or whatever, but like if he hasn't got personnel in there that like he thinks he can change, then he is kind of got his hands tied a bit, hasn't he? So you do feel for him, but I don't think it's an excuse to say, well, right, well, it's a difficult one for the Toon, because they think like just because of the richest team in the world, they've got the money to gamble and spend on. But you haven't, because the revenue's not there. And then people say like, oh, we didn't want to leave the stadium and stuff like that. Thing is, if you want to up your revenue, you haven't got the fan base to get that extra revenue. So the only way you can do it is by making the club bigger, which is by building the new stadium. And then you were talking to that guy on the train with Spurs. I mean, Spurs' revenue must be going through the roof for that NFL thing, because the money that it was generating off the new stadium and stuff. Newcastle's got to do the same. I get like its heritage, and like St. James Park is meant because it's in the city.
One out there.
No, but it's like I get why people like it, because it is like in the city centre, and I do get it, but it's the same as this, like with the Old Trafford thing. Like, if we want to get to that next level, which is like beyond any other team can dream of, because we'll be competing with the likes of Real Madrid and stuff at that level, like we have to build a new stadium, because he wants it to be an experience, doesn't he? Where it's going to be like everything, like you're going to be able to stay there, you eat there, you drink there, you watch the football there, and he wants it. That's what they want. Like and Newcastle have to do the same. They've got to. That's a talking about it. But I didn't get the people that saying, well, can it spend money, because you offered up to 65 million for Guehi in the summer. You didn't get him, then you went in on deadline day for 55 million for Elanga, which is crazy in its own right, because two total different like positions. Like, surely they had a plan B there if they've got all this set up. That Paul Mitchell coming in, like
because we took the main man, Ashworth. They went for somebody that we didn't want.
The thing is, though, they had him on gardening leave for like since like the end of May. Like, surely you're lining somebody up, or surely someone like you can at least let your manager like make a decision if you haven't had someone in that position to say like, look, I think we need to strengthen here. He'll do it. Like, oh, he's too expensive, right? Well, he's the second option. I think he'll also be like a good squad player, or he'll fit in somewhere. Like, to not spend anything, I think it's criminal.
It is. It's mental. Even if he brought 14 million pound players in, you know what I mean? And one of them clicked, and he became brilliant. Then you know what I mean. You get your money back, don't you? There's no doubt about it. Newcastle could be a sleeping giant, but I've said all along, Eddie Howe's a good man, and he shouldn't get sacked for a bad result. But you're not gonna attract anybody when you're Newcastle. You're out the way. You're out the way of the capital. You're out the way of like Manchester, and you know, like Man City's obviously winning everything in the minute. The success is there, or has been in Manchester. The capital is where everybody wants to be. So Newcastle isn't really an attraction to come up to, unless you're gonna get big money, right? Which is then you're attracting the wrong players, or you've got a manager who's got pull. And Eddie Howe isn't that manager. I'm not bothered what anybody says. You can be the nicest man in the world, but you've got to have a bigger head, haven't you? You've got to have somebody where they're going, 1,000,000%. I don't think any player in the world, like siesta la mate when they're, chilling. I wouldn't mind playing for Eddie Howe. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
They need to change it. They need to sack them and bring a big manager in, or they need to go and big and build a bigger stadium and get more revenue, because they can generate revenue. There's no doubt about it. They can generate fake revenue, even though we know that everybody knows it's illegal.
Yeah, but they can sell St James's Park with no bother. I think up to about 70,000. No bother. There's plenty of people sitting waiting. They can sell more tickets. I've got no doubt about it. But I think the revenue is within Newcastle, so it's whether you're going to be able to do that week in, week out. But I just think that the sum it off somewhere, because I mean that's Staveley and that they were the big part. They were big into it, and something's happened there. I think the summit. I don't know what, but something's happened there, because for them to just walk away from the project that they have been the face of from the beginning, is it everything that it's cracked out to be? Or
as well, Gary, they've got 70 million to spend what they were going to spend on one player, right? And the likes of Brighton, etc. They've proved that you don't need to spend a lot of money on players. You just need to recruit properly. You need to scout properly, and you need to take gambles on players, because they could come good. I mean, look at Amad Diallo. 3 years ago, he was playing up at Rangers and he just wasn't getting the game. Somebody went into Man United and went, "There's 12 million."
Probably left.
They would have stopped the hands off, and you've got a player then. You know what I mean? So they've got to take gambles as well. It needs to be managed better, and it's not. Enough about them anyway. I'll flick through these quickly. Jamie Dixon saying Martin Gallen up the Reds. Martin Gallen, you're silent where you at. Peter Painter saying Villa had to sell the best player Lewis to get around PSR. Toon couldn't spend because of previous windows to keep us up after Ashley. Bruce typical. They could spend, mate. They had money to spend. They were going to buy Gui and then Alanga, so they did have money to spend. So that's bullshit. I don't know if Alan Smith's taking the piss, but he's saying turn your super chats on. I would like to send you some money. I don't know how to do it when newbies, mate. But thank you anyway if you are being serious. Martin Gallen, we signed a talented young striker who's had about 8 mins all season in league. That is absolutely criminal, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You get him on. What's the worst he can do? You know what I
think it was even in a cup match, wasn't it? I think he only got a good 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah. Which again tells us that it wasn't his signing. I don't know. He's brought him in, and I mean that was that dodgy deal, though, wasn't it? That was where they bought the keeper for 20 million, but then bought him for 10. Or there was something crazy went on. And the keeper hasn't played either, has he? He was their reserve keeper, and he spent 20 million on him.
Right, Gary, we're gonna have to just crack on here because we're up to 50 minutes, and I want to get these predictions in. Are you got a pen and paper there, no? Yeah.
Nah.
I'll just write them down in the order that they're on here, then I'll write them down afterwards. We'll just flick through them. Join in the comments if you want to have your say on what you think the score will be. Right. This week we have midweek fixtures starting tomorrow night. Ipswich against Crystal Palace. What are you going for?
2-1 Ipswich.
I'm going to go for exactly the same. That's exactly what I was thinking, mate. Leicester against West Ham.
New manager in. I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 1-0 Leicester. I think it'll be the Rude effect. Southampton against Chelsea.
Chelsea 3-1.
Chelsea 3-1. Oh, shit. 2 minutes. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think we'll get some good. Man City against Forest. Will it end their horrible run of form?
I believe so. I'm going to say 3-0 City.
3-0 City. Yeah, I've probably gone for something similar. I may go for 1 extra goal. I'm going to go 4-0. Newcastle against Liverpool.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Well, I was actually going to say what you said before. It'd be typical of Newcastle to turn up against Liverpool. And I think it's going to end 1 each. I didn't think any team will win it. Although there's always a lot of goals in that game. I don't know. Everton against Wolves.
Well, Everton, I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. I'm going 2-0 to Wolves. Arsenal against United.
I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Manchester United. 2-1 United. Yeah. It's a toughie. I think it's going to be a good game, you know. I'm going to go 3-2. I'm going to go for a lot of goals.
What, Arsenal?
United. Fuck off. Honestly, I'd rather shit in my hands and clap and go.
Aye, so that's 2-3.
Aye, 2-3. Sorry. Aston Villa, Brentford.
I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford.
2-1 to Brentford.
I need to go over 2.5 and all these, didn't I?
I did. I think Villa will bounce back. They'll get a win. 2-1. And Fulham against Brighton.
1-1.
1-1. I'm going to mirror you, Gary. I'm going to exactly the same. And Bournemouth against Tottenham.
I'm going to go for 3-1 Bournemouth. 3-1
to Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on 4-3s each. Big high scoring game. That'll be 50-1, I would think. Then we'll move on to the weekend.
Are you doing Highland hat-trick?
Not at Arsenal, I'm not.
You said 3, though.
I might go on against Forest. But on Saturday, 12:30, the first game of the Premier League on Saturday, you've got the Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool. How do you see that going?
4-0 to Liverpool.
4-0 to Liverpool. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Everton.
Title charge.
Yeah, Brentford against Newcastle.
Yeah, buddy. 2-1 Brentford.
Yeah.
2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. I think the same, mate. I think we'll get a draw against Liverpool, but I think Brentford will just have too much for them. 2-1, exactly the same as you. Aston Villa, Southampton.
2-0 Villa.
2-0. I'll go for 3-1. Crystal Palace, Man City.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
I'm going to go 3-1 to City. I think they'll win through the week and they'll carry the form on into. It's only Newcastle. Well, seeing that Man United didn't get out there neither, so I'll shut me move. Man United against Nottingham Forest. 5:30 kickoff.
I'm going to go 4-0 to Man U.
4-0 to United. I'm going to go for 3-1. I think Forest will put up a bit of a fight. They might get an early goal. The ball will switch. Xerxes will have on them.
Boom.
Hat-trick from Highland, actually. Fulham against Arsenal.
Arsenal 3-1.
Arsenal 3-1. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Fulham. Yeah. 2-1 to Fulham. What did you go for? Right. Leicester against Brighton.
1s each.
1-1. I'm going to go for another Leicester win. 2-1. I just think it's the new manager effect, and it's Ruud van Nistelrooy, and they'll be buying into his regime.
Oh, Ferry's in.
Eh?
Ferry's on.
Ferry's in.
Finish work.
Ipswich against Bournemouth.
I'm going to go 1s each.
1-1. I'm going to go for the Desmond. First Desmond. Tottenham against Chelsea. Good game on the Sunday. 4:30 kickoff.
I see goals in that one. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to see 3-2 to Chelsea.
3-2. Tottenham.
Chelsea.
Chelsea will be 2-3 then.
2-3.
I'm gonna go for 2-2. Another Desmond. 2-2. And I'm going to go exactly the same again for the next game. 2-2. 3 2-2s off the belt. Tenner on that. You get about 1,400 to 1.
What's the next one?
West Ham against Wolves.
I'm going to have West Ham 2-1.
West Ham 2-1. West Ham are at home. Boom. Done. We'll flick through them. We had to flick through them tonight because obviously the FA Cup draw has happened. So we'll stop sharing that. I'll quickly flick through these just to show people what everybody has gone for. Well, it's not that many actually. Arsenal 5-1. Evening Ferry lad, he's gone 3-0 to Brentford against Newcastle. He thinks Forest will win 2-1. 3-1 United, says Ferry. Happy days. So, did you see the FA Cup draw, mate?
I didn't.
You haven't?
I haven't. And I'm Man United got Arsenal, and that's it.
Arsenal away. Yes, exactly. So.
Oh, again.
Fucking right we are.
What's the date?
11th of January, I think, so far, but it'll likely get changed because after Saturday, we'll end up being the Sunday, won't we? So if I share that.
Or 5:30 kickoff. Might even put it in 8 o'clock kickoff that.
Aye. This is the FA Cup draw that took place tonight. Obviously, Newcastle, you know, man, everybody always says, you know, the big teams get privileges and stuff, but it's proven tonight by Man United getting Arsenal that they're different. Newcastle got Bromley at home. Tamworth won at home to Tottenham. Excellent draw for Tamworth. Good draw for Bromley as well, like, to be fair.
It is. It is.
Leyton Orient against Derby. Man City at home to Salford. Big draw for Salford, that.
It's a derby, that really, isn't it?
Derby. Aye, it's a derby.
It is.
Nottingham Forest against Luton. Fulham against Watford. Southampton Swansea. Sheffield United Cardiff. Ipswich Bristol. Brentford Plymouth. Aston Villa and West Ham. Bristol City against Wolves. Arsenal against Man United. Chelsea against Morecambe.
That's a good one, isn't it, for Morecambe?
Yeah. QPRs is still to be decided, as is Harrogate's there at the top. Crystal Palace will play Stockport. Good draw for Stockport. Hull City against Doncaster. Bournemouth and West Brom. Wickham against Portsmouth. Norwich City against Brighton. Everton against Peterborough. Coventry against Sheff Wedge. Obviously, Coventry's new, managed by Frank Lampard. Mansfield against Wigan. Millwall against Dagenham and Redbridge. Preston against Charlton. Reading against Burnley. Exeter City against Oxford. The other North East teams, Sunderland got drawn at home to Stoke City. Middlesbrough at home to Blackburn Rovers. Birmingham will play Lincoln City. And Liverpool will play Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley. You remember that advert?
Is it about the milk one? The
milk guy. Was it Ian Rush or something like that? So out of them, Gary, let's highlight a few. Obviously, Liverpool and Accrington Stanley. Excellent draw for Accrington Stanley.
I think that's a derby, isn't it?
I think so, mate.
Very close by.
Aye. Is any of them take stand out here? What do you reckon?
Well, one of the favourites has gone out on to City. Will gone out, and then Arsenal or Man U. Yeah, we'll beat them though, easy. To retain the cup.
Do you believe that? Do you believe we can go and do there and beat Arsenal in the FA Cup?
I do, honestly, I do.
Aye.
If you asked us 3 or 4 weeks ago, you know how much I was 10 hard good because I was just sick of the sight of watching these shite.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm much more positive now, like watching just a total different style of football. And I think
to get thrown away in the cup, isn't it? I think we've had like 10 or something get home.
I'm sick of them 50. I'm sick of them 55 quids coming to my bank.
Same like Newcastle there, mate. You know, with Bromley. Yeah, account's getting debited tonight for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing Bromley, they'll be giving them tickets away. It's a big game for Bromley. But like, as a Newcastle fan, do they want that? Half of them will say, I want to get through to the next run. The other half will say, no, I'd rather be playing like the bigger teams.
Alan's saying there, obviously Harrogate got Leeds away. That's another, like, there's been quite a few derbies, hasn't there?
Harrogate got Leeds away, another derby, aye. Fucking Jamie Fucker says their mind probably play their first team. Sorry, Gary wants to go. Oh, Gallen's watching on YouTube. I'm thinking it's a different Martin Gallen. It's not. That's definitely Martin Gallen saying that to you. Isn't it?
Oh,
he's flicking on YouTube to watch, but that's what he's done rather than watching.
Because he's done one away game this season, so
one away game is last. No, he did though. No, he did. He thinks we're all stupid. He fucking took it at the Christmas market. Oh. He says, "Oh, there's a mint market doing here." United. Like, there's the bubbles. Missed his train. Those night trains in over at King's Cross.
No way, there was on the day he booked for. That was the 22nd of December.
Right, we'll flick through these quickly before we go, right? And I just want you to say who will win when I say them, right? Wait a minute. Full screen layout. Can you see it better there now, aye? Alan says it's far from away days now. I'm not surprised, mate. It's devastating, isn't it?
That was self-exclusion by her, that though, wasn't it?
Yeah?
That was self-exclusion by her.
Aye.
He didn't say that.
I'm not coming here again. Right, we'll flick through. Tell me who you think will win. You can say a score if you want, but you didn't have to. You just need to say a team. Newcastle, Bromley.
Newcastle.
Leeds, Harrogate.
Leeds.
Tamworth, Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Leyton Orient, Derby.
Derby.
City, Salford.
City.
Forest, Luton.
Forest.
Fulham, Watford.
Fulham.
Southampton, Swansea.
Swansea.
Sheffield United, Cardiff.
Sheffield United.
Ipswich or Bristol.
Ipswich.
Brentford or Plymouth.
Brentford.
Villa, West Ham.
Villa.
Bristol City, Wolves.
Bristol City.
Arsenal, United.
United.
Yeah.
Good.
Chelsea or Morecambe.
Chelsea.
Crystal Palace, Stockport.
Palace.
Hull or Doncaster.
Hull.
Bournemouth, West Brom.
Bournemouth.
Wickham, Portsmouth.
Wickham.
Norwich, Brighton.
Brighton.
Everton, Peterborough.
Everton.
Coventry, Chef Wed.
Coventry.
Mansfield or Wigan.
Wigan.
Millwall or Dagenham.
Millwall.
Preston, Charlton.
Preston.
Reading, Burnley.
Burnley.
Exeter, Oxford.
Exeter.
Sunderland or Stoke.
Sunderland.
Borough or Blackburn.
Borough.
Birmingham or Lincoln.
Birmingham.
Liverpool or Accrington Stanley.
Accrington Stanley. 5-0.
Yeah. Hey, you should have back in this video when we're finished and look back and put an accumulator on a quid. You love that FA Cup. You didn't really go for many upsets there, Gary, which I was surprised at. You kind of went safe with them now, but that always is upsets on FA Cup day, isn't there?
There is, but you didn't really expect it here. But you didn't see the teams and stuff, but like Bromley and stuff, they'll get to Newcastle, and that is their cup final. They have never played like in front of like 50,000 people, and there's people like Newcastle have a kind of fan base there because you've got to think, there's a lot of people that kind of get tickets to go into the games, like the Premier League games and stuff like that. So they do get a good following for the cup games these days because people want to go, because like obviously like the aura around the club at the minute. And it'll be good for Bromley that, but it'll be good to see. Hopefully, Newcastle give them like some of the proceeds and like help them, because it's just a lower league team in it, or what are the National League? They're probably just National League or something other.
What league? Oh.
Gallen says I went for an upset when he said, "Man, you will beat Arsenal."
Bromley FC are currently in AFL League 2.
All right, so they probably got promoted last season. Right.
Championship.
They'll not have played in a stadium like that before, though, will they?
They're currently sitting fifth, bottom of League 2, though, on 17 points. But that means nothing when it comes to, like, you know,
because if you think, Newcastle couldn't beat Cambridge 2 years ago, could they?
Aye. And struggle. Who was the team they struggled against?
Sheffield beat them, didn't they?
No, it was Stevenage, man.
Went to pens.
1-0 or something. One of Shearer was playing, I'm sure.
No, last season they went to pens.
From the weekend there, Middlesbrough won 3-1. Sunderland got beat 1-0 off Sheffield United. Both teams got a man sent off. That's Sunderland now without a win in the last 6. I mean, they've got 5 points out of a potential 18 because they've had 5 draws. They seem to be.
They missed a pen though, didn't they?
Accumulator, like.
They missed a pen.
Missed a pen, aye. It's so
changes the game.
The fourth, they're sitting fourth now, 5 points off Sheffield United. I mean, if they win that game, which they could have won, then they're sitting equal with Sheffield United at the top and Leeds and Burnley. So that's the fine margins that you've got in football, isn't it? It's
it's cruel, isn't it? It's like, but
can be.
I'd love to see like Sunderland and Borough come back up. Just
100%.
Like for the
Leeds was a good away. I know, figure them, but you want to play them, don't you? Because it's like there's a good little rivalry going between with them, isn't there?
You want Bournemouth and Brighton again, too, and Leeds and Borough.
Bournemouth, Brighton, Southampton, Leeds, Sunderland, and Borough. 100%.
I'll them two and them.
Lee Fairgrieve, how are the lads? Gallen, he went for an upset when he said, "Man, you'll beat Arsenal. Bromley will win. Bromley win. I'm gonna love it." He said he missed the pen. Bottle job, says Gallen. We 3 or 4 players short of going up. But luckily for you, mate, the transfer window opens in 30 days. So unlike Newcastle, you do buy players. So the future's bright. I hope they
do, because it's probably been quite a few years since Sunderland's had themselves in that good of a position. So you'd like to think that the owners might even if it's just a couple of loans. Another one at Diallo, but I think that's out the window now. He's not kind of similar.
They reckon Adam. Listen, everybody, that's an hour and 10 minutes. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here starts in 5 minutes. So we're gonna do a shoot. Have you got anybody that you think will win it now, Gary?
I think Danny might win it, me.
Danny?
Aye.
I don't know. I think it might be an underdog. But you're right. Danny's done no wrong. Henderson's coming, says Lee Fairgrieve. Good shout. Good shout.
It is. It is. You should.
Aye, absolutely.
Well, they might get him that they might get that Johnson and all, the nuns.
You got Pickford now. I think Pickford's time in Everton's coming to an end.
Do you? He's classing.
100%. 100%.
I would take him tomorrow. He's top keeper. Him.
He's done well over the years, and he's done nothing wrong for England. So, and he's a Sunderland fan through and through, and he get him in net. Henderson in the middle. A couple of fast.
The keeper they've got, the keeper they've got's good.
If they get promotion, then it's definitely a possibility, isn't it?
It is.
100%. So we're not on next week.
With Peter.
But we'll be on the week after.
I was going to take my laptop to Dubai.
Bury up the pedo. Are you going to take your laptop? Fuck. I'll see if I can get somebody else on today's show. If not, we'll be back the week after. But thanks very much for joining in. Getting your comments in. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the crack. That's been talking to for another week. Thanks very much, everybody. Cheers, Gary.
Thanks. See you next week.
See you.